Welcome to Healthcare Sucks, and this will be the less blabbery one. Since the last one, I blabbered and blabbered and blabbered. That's right, I did. I'm guilty. Let's tune into the president. I think most of you probably seen this with the face mask thing, but if not, it's a good place to start, guys.
Covering. The cloth face coverings recommended are not surgical mask or N95 respirator.
The CDC is advising the use of non-medical cloth face covering.
The cloth face coverings recommended are not surgical mask or N95 respirators. Those are critical supplies that must continue to be reserved for healthcare workers and other medical first responders as recommended by the current CDC guidance.
This is voluntary. I don't think I'm going to be doing it. I'm feeling good. I just don't want to be doing, I don't know, somehow sitting in the Oval Office behind that beautiful Resolute desk. The great Resolute desk. I think wearing a face mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens. I don't know. Somehow I don't see it for myself. I just maybe I'll change my mind.
You have got to admit that was funny as hell. It just was, guys. I don't know what is funny about it, but it's just funny. And something about Mr. T, there are moments. You know, I watched some of that earlier. It was like his longest blabbering speech forever. That's what you guys probably said about my last video too. But yeah, it was pretty drawn out. So let's go on to the next thing tonight, which is dun dun dun.
A word of warning from a team member with a clicker. Coles staff are keeping count of their customers.
For this, one of our larger traders, the restriction would cap out at 275 customers. I would add, we've not yet reached that limit through the trial.
Store limits will vary, but the move will come into effect nationwide from Monday in anticipation of a spike in Easter sales.
It is traditionally the second busiest trading period of the year after Christmas.
You'll see.
And I covered it a little bit. They're trying to, now that you get if you get SNAP benefits or you get your check and you get your money, don't go out there shopping and buy a bunch of stuff now. What kind of nutty crap is that? I'm literally, guys, I mean, I guess if we all knew we were going to be under martial law in so many days, we'd just go fill baskets. Literally. And would there be something wrong with filling baskets if it was for your own use and maybe to share with your neighbors? Not a damn thing, I say. Is it wrong to fill your garage with toilet paper? Yeah, that's a little extreme. But I think you guys know where I'm coming from. So let's watch a little more.
At Woolworths too, which is now allowing priority assistance customers to use its pickup service in some drive-through stores and 600 in-store service desk locations. There are plastic screens shielding checkouts, and staff wear bibs reminding customers that a shopping trolley can serve as a measuring stick for the 1.5 metre rule. Shoppers will pack their own bags too.
It's good for a good cause. Keep everybody safe.
Those in Port Melbourne agree it's a smart move.
It's getting congested. In Bunnings, they have 4 per aisle, and I'm just thinking maybe we need to come up with something.
I thought it was a little bit busy, and I went, oh goodness, it's not normally this busy.
Customers are being encouraged to keep their shopping experience quite speedy, to come in with a plan and a shopping list and follow some obvious measures like only touching products you intend to buy.
I think with it being Easter week, having a kind of planned shopping trip is always a good thing.
Madeline Slattery, 9 News.
Well, I don't know what to say other than that beautiful woman in that long black dress. That was a hell of a black dress. Just commenting on the black dress. Nothing else. Keeping it clean here at Healthcare. How about we're going to stick with 9 News right now. It kind of applies here too, guys.
Saturday morning, and this was not the place to relax. Police on horseback patrolling Sydney's most famous beach Moving on, Bondi beachgoers flouting the tough new coronavirus restrictions. This is going to be the norm as cases climb in New South Wales.
It's one nasty little beast.
An additional 104 cases were recorded overnight, taking the total to 2,493. 41 people are in intensive care. 23 of those are on ventilators. 4 of these patients with serious complications are aged in their 30s. 12 people have died.
Whilst this disease is generally milder in young age groups, we will expect to see severe consequences for some people in the younger age groups.
With school holidays now kicking in, police are urging people not to head to remote and regional communities for a break. Travelling for holidays is prohibited. Caravan parks can be used only by overnight travellers, people working in the area and those who currently don't have a home, such as victims of the recent bushfires. Authorities say some of the only people they want to see on our major roads are truck drivers. New powers allowing them to pull over at truck stops and have a rest. But everyone else should stay at home.
If anybody becomes complacent about social distancing, then I think that we could have a very negative outcome.
And more clarification around funerals today too. 10 people can now attend, not including staff. Vicky Jardium, 9 News.
And we're sticking with Australia right now because they got some interesting new stuff. But that applies over here, a lot of that stuff. Maybe not exact same thing yet. But these things are all coming worldwide. And my point from shifting from country to country to country right now is that we're all in it together, really. And it's all going to hit us all like nuts. And it's changing all of our lives. And it's drastic. Here's another. Then we're going to jump somewhere else. But I want one more from our brothers and sisters in Australia, bro.
91 spot checks on return travellers, detecting 99 who were not home during their mandatory 14-day quarantine.
Now, what that was is when they travel, they're supposed to be in their homes. And you heard like 99 of them out of 100 some weren't. Look, I'm going to give you a wonderful example. The wonderful people that own Lincoln City Trash over here at Lincoln City, Oregon, and fill their monies like fat hogs wallowing in a trough from getting so rich and raising our rates, and went and bought a second home last year out of all that money in Hawaii, a second one. And right as this little lockdown started to come on, they bailed and thought they were so cool and they were going to go to Hawaii and have a great old time, and they were rich and famous and lots of money. And I'll tell you why I've got the attitude here in a minute. And, well, they went over there and then Hawaii got locked down, didn't they, guys? So they managed to persuade whatever to come back to their home here. Well, when they got back, they went in, of course, to their businesses. They ain't quarantined. They were on several different flights, several different areas, and in Hawaii, which, by the way, was the thoroughfare for all the WUHAN people at one point. And it is the outbreak in Hawaii. And they're within close distance of their employees, putting their employees at risk, which puts everybody else at risk, because we know that trash guys get around, and the trash guys are excellent human beings, and their staff is great. The reason I'm down on Lincoln City Garbage, for one thing, is they are not making exceptions. You can't pay your bills, they will come and get your garbage cans. If you're past due a little, your garbage cans are gone. And if you offer to pay half, for instance, this scenario happened to me, brothers and sisters. I offered to pay them half. And you know what they told me? No. You know, and so I don't feel for them. I'm sorry. Another one is the electric company. I called them tonight to check out what's going on with Port PG&E, where we're at. And They say that they'll work with this. They're not really shutting anybody off. Even if you get like 2 payments behind right now, I found this out. They're not going to shut you off. But at some point, if you're 3 payments, they look at condensing it all and putting it on some kind of your monthly bill, and you will have to pay for this. Now, they never 100% clarified at that point whether they'll shut you off, but that's pretty far out, guys. And by that time, you got to figure you may owe hundreds, if not $1,000. Okay. Wave, internet, broadband, sent out a text tonight. I haven't had a chance to call them, but it's black and white. I'll send out a notice to everybody saying that they want to work with people. So we'll see. We'll test the waters with them tomorrow or Monday, whichever I can get a hold of them. What other good people have I reached out to? AT&T for phone service and stuff. And they're a little bit more sneakier. I haven't got an exact answer, and I plan to pursue that one. That's who my company is at this time. Feel free to call Verizon and whatever company, wherever you get your phones, and just ask. Are you going to work with us, and are you just going to shut us off or shut us down? I mean, that was another point, by the way, that I did discuss with the senator's office. Is, we can have people at home. You got to keep the internet on. It's got to have power on. We got to give them something to do, or these people are not going to stay home. You're going to lock us in jail, even though there's an old saying about a gilded cage is still a gilded cage, guys. But at least if you're going to be in a gilded cage and you can watch TV and tinker with your little toys, it's more like everyday scenario for us. Touching one other quick thing. I did a video earlier, and thank you for the response. Somebody sent me some information on it where they're spraying nanite filled stuff that technically they were spraying that in empty gas tanks to coat it. Now they're clean on everything. Hospitals all over the place. There's big, huge monies in that, guys. I can't even tell you how much money's going to be going between this and that spray. And we're talking nanites. Crawly little like bed buggy things. I don't even want to know. And then the further and deeper you go with the 5G cross-ends with that. See, a lot of the 5G stuff people thought were paranoid and wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. It became a reality, but they keep burying it. They had put up towers where kids' schools were, and kids got cancer, legit. And there was lawsuits, and they had to remove the towers. So there are things wrong. Another, for instance, about 5G, Israel don't allow it, guys. And if it's Israel don't allow it, maybe we shouldn't be allowing it. Give you an idea. And they're like the head of technology over there. I mean, they've got some really smart apples over there. I'm not kidding you. For one thing, instead of upper or lower GIs, you swallow this little capsule, goes through your system. No more upper or lower GIs. If you've ever had one, it's not fun. So I think we covered a few things off the wall. We're going to pursue down the trail tonight. If you give me like 2 seconds, I'll have something else up for us. Maybe 3 seconds. Maybe 4 seconds. Just kidding. Let's check this out.
Up New York. And then pick up, decamp, and then go to the next place as this rolls across the country.
The peak hasn't yet hit, and New York's governor is warning the state could run out of ventilators in days. Cuomo has ordered the machines to be redistributed to overwhelmed hospitals. With many overcrowded, this convention center in Manhattan has now been turned into a makeshift hospital. Funeral homes and crematoriums in the country's most popular...
The first one, does that not remind you of Wuhan? Does that not remind you of Italy? I mean, I'm just saying.
The city are also struggling to cope.
9/11 was bad. It really was bad, but it wasn't like this. And even with the AIDS epidemic in the 80s, a lot of the funeral directors that were around back then and have dealt with value that's even comparable to what we're getting now.
Death in isolation. For victims and their families, there are no last words, no goodbyes. Only pictures of their loved ones from those on the front lines. Meanwhile, U.S. officials have done a U-turn on their face mask guidelines after initially stating they aren't necessary for the general public. The Center for Disease Control is now recommending face coverings such as bandanas and homemade masks, though the president has stressed they are not mandatory.
Well, I just don't want to wear one myself. It's a recommendation. They recommend it. I'm feeling good. I just don't want to be doing, I don't know, somehow sitting in the Oval Office behind that beautiful Resolute desk. The great.
I'm sorry, guys. I've seen that so many times. That makes me laugh. Real quick, I don't think we're going to see it here, but over in Wuhan and all over China, they had those tractor trailer cremation situation, and they were literally burning bodies. Hopefully, if your kids are in the room, it's too late probably, but you can explain what it is, Sorry, guys. I should have gave a warning. That's kind of, but these are times, I still wouldn't suggest probably letting children or mentally ill see and do all this, And again, if we address some films back a ways for if you're feeling stressed, anxiety, or you do have mental health situations, there are numbers and people to get a hold of, and you should. This is a recommendation to me. Another tidbit from talking to the senator, I talked about giving back the pain medications in the near future that have been taken wrongfully for people that can use them wisely, and the mental health meds that has created the mental health crisis by pulling the meds that actually work, and people are suffering. In this time, with everything going on, do you think really that if we don't have things to make our lives a little easier, I'm not talking about cocaine, being delivered by the ice cream man. That happened in California, by the way. Meth too, by the way. Yeah, check it out. El Cajon, California. I'm not joking, guys. Can't make that shit up. Oop, bing. Sorry. But I'm talking, what the hell? Why not? And they should have never done what they did. We knew that was about the money. So many things about the money. I'll go into it another time. I'm not going to make you guys go through
Resolute desk. I think wearing a face mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens, I don't know. Somehow, I don't see it for myself.
The mixed messages have left many in the U.S. confused and frustrated.
More than 1 million people around the world now have confirmed coronavirus infections, and over 55,000 have died as we look now at the very latest developments. The International Monetary Fund says the pandemic has brought the global economy to a standstill. It says the world will see a recession that will be far worse than the global
And I'm tired of them candy coating this crap. This is a depression, not a recession. You know what? Why did they gotta lie? And just why did they gotta lie? Go back and look at Depression, Dust Bowl, and all that stuff. You tell me this is not maybe worse already. And it is a depression. I just want to clarify that.
Financial crisis a decade ago. A top British epidemiologist says the UK could relax its lockdown measures in a matter of weeks. That's providing the spread of coronavirus slows and the rate of testing increases. And South Korea has denied entry to 8 foreigners who refused to submit to quarantine measures. All overseas arrivals, including South Korean nationals, are required to self-isolate for 14 days. Now, Berlin's city government has accused the U.S. of an act of modern-day piracy after a shipment of 200,000 protective face masks was hijacked on its way from China to Germany. The masks had been ordered by Berlin's police force from an American manufacturer producing in China, but according to Berlin authorities, they were confiscated in Bangkok and diverted to the U.S. As the coronavirus pandemic worsens, demand for crucial medical supplies such as masks and respirators has surged worldwide, leading to unprecedented buying practices and countries outbidding each other.
See, and we hear, this is what ticks me off. Troy's 2 cents were, we cry about them raising water and pirating toilet paper prices, and guy that wants to make a couple bucks, I know it's wrong, off of the masks. I mean, just a couple, let's say. But yet you got these guys that are making tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands, if not way more than that, off the respirators. Close, right? And the masks and all this other stuff. But that's okay. That makes me want to puke. I'm so sick of the government allowing white-collar crime and little bitty guys that robbed the ice cream man as a serious criminal and send him away to jail for like half of his life. Now's the time to fight that. The president needs to get off his ass and stop that immediately. There are some things, I'm not picking on the president. But I'm going to pick at times wherever it needs to be, because that's part of being the president, is you do get ridiculed, and that's how you learn to become a better president, is when you do make little mistakes and stuff, you admit them, you fix them, and you move on. That's what you do to become a great president. And this president has a little bit of issue with that sometimes. And this is one, Mr. T, I'm telling you, you need to fix this. No more this price gouging things. This is done. Now, between countries, that's almost a little, it shouldn't, but that's a little different, because then you're talking one country wants it more than another. When you're talking states, though, in your own countries, wherever you're at, or us in the United States, you guys need to work it out between your own country and keep it the same price per state, per area, period, till this thing's over. As a matter of fact, personally, with the banks and Wall Street getting all those monies, they should be paying for all that and paying for all of our stuff, too. It's called giving back for us bailing them out. We should make them. I'm not kidding. This is the real, I'm serious face, because I am. Big bankers and fat cat Wall Streets make me want to puke. I'm tired of it. Tired of them, the elites getting richer and taking advantage. Most of those people, they prepped out somewhere and they ain't getting hassled. They got huge stockpiles of everything. They ain't going without. You kidding me? Not a thing. They ain't going without nothing. They ain't going without alcohol, drugs, painkillers, medicines, you name it. Anything. Anything they want. That's where we... Oh, whoa. Ding, ding, ding. You heard about them going and raiding stock supplies? We need to be raiding some of those rich bastards' little holes under their houses and shit. Ding. Bad word, too. One more and I'm out. That's where we can come up with the good stuff. Do you think the government would do that? Do you think New York, for all this talk from the governors in different states, do you think they'll go to the rich people's house and make them cough up something? Yeah, right. They're the elites. They're the finest of the finest trash bags. I call a trash bag a trash bag, just like I called Lincoln City garbage. Yeah, it's so fitting. Garbage owner people, trash bags, because they are. I'm losing my voice again. All right. I could ponder more, and I may do another video, but I think we've addressed a few things tonight. I love you all. Take care. I hope you enjoyed the show. We use the Fair Use Act. Everything's hocus pocus and fiction until it's not. And it's not today. It wasn't yesterday, and it wasn't the day before that. And gosh, I think for the last 60 days, it's been so real, hasn't it? Let me know what you think. I did not put up my little send me a card sign. We'll catch up in the future sometime. I really want you guys to set yourselves to where you're comfortable enough to survive this. And I think I told you my doctor's doing video stuff now. Most doctors and hospitals are now. You're not getting past the front desk anymore to go to a hospital until they check you and whatever. And if you got an allergy, you're screwed because you go into that bracket of you possibly have corona, but you have an allergy. It's like nuts, guys. Or if you cough or sneeze or have a cold, you can have the corona. Oh my God. And there's been so many corona songs out there. I have to hand it to people. I even wrote a couple and stuff. Mine was when I traveled into the danger zone, from Tom Cruise. I went to the shopping zone. That's right. It's actually I may sing it for you guys down the road. But it's pretty good. It's about, going shopping with the mask, TP, in the danger zone, because it's dangerous going out there shopping, guys. Every time you go shopping, you're risking, The sad part is if it gets to that super serious point, we're not going to be drinking powdered milk and making our own bread. And for those people who don't have chickens, like yours truly, which I'm gifted from the Lord, you'll be getting your milk, eggs, bread every few days, even if you buy a supply. And that's if you can afford it. A lot of common Joes, we all know we live month to month, week to week, day to day. I mean, it's just tough, guys. It is tough. If you guys live in like apartments or high-rise apartments especially, or any of those scenarios, let me know if your landlords have give you any leeway for having like barbecues off your back porch or thinking about planting vegetables and doing gardens off your porch if you have a porch area, or if they would consider with people going out in different shifts, giving everybody an area to turn it into planning stuff for us this summer. I mean, or very soon. In some areas, you could start planning probably today. It's something to think about, guys, because we don't know. I mean, and everybody would like to have some fresh vegetables, and fruit's a little different, but, as time goes on, if time gets really tough, even though there's that dangerous spread, like a couple people may have to go together and go get supply runs of fruit, vegetables, and stuff, bring it back, and people can just share. I know that most of the farmers have always been generous to share their stuff. Now, unfortunately, most farms are owned by corporates, which, corporate, you got the monies. They all got a bunch of this bailout money. So you know what? They can kiss our butts. The fruits and the vegetables are there for to share. So again, it's time to maybe take America or take Australia or take wherever you're at, whatever country, whatever city you're in. Take it back to where we are in control again. Leave you with one great kids movie. It's called Bug's Life, where the grasshoppers were beating up the ants and making them do all the work and taking all the food and partying and having a great time. And then one foul day, the ants decided they knew there was more of them, like us. Team 99, 99%, and all you other people, whatever you want to call yourself or be part of, there's more of us. We pay a hell of a lot of taxes. We quit paying taxes for a year. Think these governments would learn their lesson? Bet your ass they would. I'll leave you with that thought for tonight. In healthcare suits, over and out. I'm going to do it. I'll be back.